you know, I mentioned it. You started working in the industry at 11 months, so just a baby, and you've been working steadily ever since.
Yes, I was like, I Googled my way. I was like, I want to be an actress at 11 months. My kids are clearly slackers. They aren't doing anything for me. But I've been around for sort of so long that it's been fascinating even to me to just sort of see like, oh well, I'm still being invited to the party in different parties, different ways, but I'm still able to do what I really do love. So I marvel at the fact that I've had longevity at this level.
Well, there's something to be said for it. There are not many people that are able to have longevity, but then to have longevity and to still be so grounded. Everyone who talks about you, people who don't even know you, I love Brooke Shields, she's so sweet, she's amazing.
Fold them all.
Yeah, which it's working, whatever you're doing. So how do you, when you're starting in an industry at such a young age, we even know child stars have a hard time making that transition, staying sane, staying grounded. What are your sort of guiding principles that keep you grounded in an industry that can be a little cuckoo?
You know, I think a lot of these young people, even when I was sort of coming up, and today especially, they don't have a foundation. You know, they have sort of a modicum of success, and then they have managers or people, and they throw them into, they sort of forget all their values, forget their education, forget everything, and they kind of chase it. And it's understandable. It's a very beguiling, you know, addictive sort of an industry, and it's shiny and pretty, and they dangle things in front of you, and you're just like, and I think that I had a mom who made sure education was primary for me. Mm-hmm. We never moved to Hollywood. You know, when you're a kid, they want you to instantly get a high school degree by mail. And then this way, once you get your high school degree, they can work you longer. So then you know, there's all these different ways just purely of maximizing what they can get out of their talent. Mm-hmm. And never really even thinking to nurture their talent. It doesn't even really matter. And I think that I was lucky enough that there weren't too many like me, meaning there were only 3 or 4 kid actors at the time. And I stayed in New York. I went to school. I only worked on my vacations, and you know, it did limit my choices because I could only do things in the summer. And mm-hmm. in a way, looking back in hindsight, the trajectory of my career wasn't very well mapped out per se.
But and it was working.
Well, you know, people always think that I have had this master plan, and the only part of my plan that is really true is if I'm not wanted here, I go find a place I'm wanted. Mm-hmm. And they pride themselves in this industry of closing doors in your face. So they basically say, oh, you're not this, so we don't want you. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have to say, okay, well, I'm gonna go where the water's warm. And you sort of have to have this, not belief, because I was always more insecure than I let on, but just this willingness to say, all right, TV doesn't want me, I'm going to try movies. Movies they don't want me now, which they didn't. You know, there were very big chunks of time where people they really turn off to you. And I just would go where I could still, you know, go to Broadway if it's available to you. Right. Or go, you know, just to not be afraid to go into different environments in which you are not necessarily familiar.
Very good advice. Now you're doing the best of both worlds. So movies on TV.
Yes, it's
great. You're Abby Knight. Mum's the Word is the name of the movie that's coming up, and it's the Flower Shop Mysteries is the series.
It is. There's a series of books. There's very many books that they come out in paperback. They're a series of mysteries, or and they're very popular, and they're really fun and funny. And there are about 15 of them, or I think they're 19 now. Yeah. And we are taking these and just adapting them to television and putting them. And they're really. It's basically. I love the character of Abby because it's a little like Murder, She Wrote, but she has this kind of quirkiness. She's a lawyer who leaves the big city and goes back to her small town, and which is supposed to be New Chapel outside Illinois, and yet we film in North Bay. And so everybody laughs. It's so funny. Everybody does. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, I never knew cold until I thought, actually, if you look up the definition of North Bay in the dictionary, it just says burr.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all it is.
It's really cool. No, you know, it's beautiful, and we sort of have taken over the town, which is really nice. But there are mysteries that are funny. there's something that you can watch in this world where everything is so sort of unsettling to watch.
Right.
It's nice to have programming that you can actually relax and unwind to, and you don't have to really worry about being afraid to lock your door or something. You know what I mean? It's just, Bo Bridges plays my dad.
Sweet.
And he's a beautiful man, and they're funny. I've got a lot of physical comedy that I've added into it.
Cool.
So,
well, you're a beautiful person. You know, we love you, Brooke Shields. I get why
you.
everyone loves you.